Hey, all right. My first guest this evening is an extremely accomplished musician. He plays the trumpet, and he's played with the group Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Please welcome New York's Village Marvel, Lew Soloff. Lew, how you doing? Nice to see you. Here, I got a mic for you here. I don't know if you just pin that on somewhere. Thanks for coming. I appreciate this.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Do you remember me from the party? Doesn't matter.
Since you were in costume.
Doesn't matter. I was in this costume. I was Dave Letterman for Halloween. But that's okay. Boy, that was a lot of fun.
Oh, every other year we have it.
Oh, great.
So we're not having it this year. But next year,
we'll have to find something else.
Hope you come again.
Oh, I'd love to. I would love to. I'm really. I'm
Catherine
honored.
will be there.
Oh well, I hope so. I'm really honored. Thanks, Lew. Well. Lew has played the trumpet for I don't know how many years, but
39 years.
39 years. Wow. I mean, I've heard Lew at his Halloween party, and I went down to see you at the Village Gate with Catherine, and you were playing with some guys down there, and it was just outstanding. It's excellent. And now
that might have been Dr. John at the Village Gate.
I know you had Eero, the piano player.
Oh no, that was Eero.
Okay.
That was Eero. That's what that was. Fabulous pianist from Finland.
He is.
Absolutely out of this world.
He's incredible. Now, from the pre-interview here, I haven't had a chance to speak to Lew yet. Works for Lincoln Center Orchestra.
Well, the reason that's the first thing that came up, the Lincoln Center has a jazz orchestra, and so does Carnegie Hall. And I play in both of them. And the reason that I thought of that as the first thing is because this shirt was given to me by the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra.
Oh,
see,
great.
It says Real Jazz on the top, and then Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra in the back. Right?
All right. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. from the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra. Good.
Right.
That's great. Yeah, and I see the Carnegie Hall Jazz here.
And they're both what they both are is they're what they're trying to do is establish jazz as a respected art form. You know, I've never done a show like this before, so I don't know where to look. I just look at you, right?
I'm
serious.
Yeah.
I don't know where to look.
You can look at me, yeah, because I'm talking to you. If you want to plug something, or if you're doing something next week or whenever.
All right. Well, no.
This one over here.
Okay. Well,
the one that's lit up. Now it's two.
Got
the little red lights lit up. Yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't even go over this stuff for you.
No, that's all right. I didn't know. But what it is the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra and the Carnegie Hall Jazz Orchestra are both trying to make jazz, get jazz to have the same respect in this country.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately it doesn't have quite the respect that it has in Europe or in the Japan, particularly.
A lot of people don't even really recognize jazz as a real. I mean, jazz is my favorite. I play in the jazz band at school, as you folks at home know. I'm a drummer for who knows how many years, 12 years, which is nothing compared to you, but. And I love jazz, and jazz seems to be the popular music of the school. And I don't know, I would definitely like to do something I've said this, how many times have I said this? I don't know. If I don't do something with my life in this industry, I would definitely love to do something in the music industry.
Well, it sure is a lot of fun, and when I even say jazz, I don't necessarily mean any particular type of jazz. I'm talking about any kind of creative music that lends itself to improvisation, usually with a rhythmic feel to it.
Right.
And that includes, you know, rock, funk, pop, all of these things. You know, the difference in that makes it something enjoyable to me is that I'm permitted to change the notes and make up my own notes as I go along. The instant compositional thing is what grabs me.
Yeah, I just love it because like you said, there is. Even if you follow the basic structure of a song, you're totally free to improv. In a way.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It is, and I love it.
Not always for the audience, but for us.
Yeah, for anyone who's out there just kind of falling asleep. Now, as I said, I did go see you at the Village Gate.
Right.
Are you playing anywhere in the future soon?
Yes. I'm going to be I'm going to Switzerland with
Wow.
I just played last night at Sweet Basil, a club in New York.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to Switzerland to play with a Swiss-German composer who kind of writes third-stream music. In other words, he did something where 4 players are featured soloists with the Basel Symphony. And we're doing, it's either Basel or Basel, Switzerland, I don't know how to pronounce it. But we're doing 2 concerts, one in Basel, one in Zurich. And there are 4 soloists, violin, bass trombone,
Oh, wow.
saxophone composer who's Daniel Schnieder, and myself. And then I come back, I'm over there for about a week, come back on Halloween,
Oh, okay.
you know,
So
and
you
then
couldn't do the party anyway. Yeah.
well, we could, but then I'm in town for about 10 days, and I go for a 3-week tour with someone who I think is one of the greatest musicians that is playing today, a fantastic trombonist named Ray Anderson.
Oh,
And we're going
very
out
familiar.
with sort of an electric type of sextet,
Mhm.
which is very funk-oriented.
Yeah.
And he wrote a tune called "Alligatory Crocodile," which I recorded on an album of mine called "Little Wing" off the Jimi Hendrix tune, which is the title tune of the record.
I've heard Little Wing.
And "Alligatory Crocodile" is a crazy tune where Ray and I sort of fence off each other. So Ray liked the tune. He calls this the Alligatory Band, and we're doing a 3-week tour of Europe.
That's
Then
great.
I go with another band called the Manhattan Jazz Quintet in December for about a 2.5-week tour of Japan.
Mm, that's fantastic.
And then, has anybody got a job for me?
Yeah. You're welcome to come back here. I don't know how interesting that would be.
Okay,
Now, I know we couldn't get you next week because you were going to be,
I'm out.
right, you're going to be practicing for the...
Oh, that's right. Next week is the concert of the Carnegie Hall Jazz Orchestra.
Right.
And they're doing let's sort of a tribute to, gee whiz, you know, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth any deeper than I just have, but I'm not sure which particular concert this is for. One is a tribute to Benny Goodman,
Oh, okay.
and I'm not sure if this is that or not, but it's Thursday night at Carnegie Hall. Whatever it is, it'll be good. John Faddis is conducting, and Lincoln Center, David Berger conducts, and Wynton Marsalis is the musical director.
Oh, that's Branford's,
Branford's brother.
right. Or Branford is his brother. Now, I went down Wednesday to go see Late Show with David Letterman because a friend of mine works there, Lori Diamond, she's Dave's assistant. And Paul Schaefer, obviously,
Right.
I'm sure you know,
Yeah,
obviously is...
very good friend of mine.
Right, well, I was going to say, you know he's on the show. And I mean, when we listen to that, the World's Most Dangerous Band, or I think they changed it now, they're the CBS Orchestra, they are just out of this world also.
Sure are.
And Paul was at Lew's Halloween party. Anybody who's anybody was there. Also, not to get off topic, I'll get back to that. Last year, Bones Malone and Chris Brubeck is a friend of mine.
Right.
They were here playing for an educational thing.
Now, doesn't Dave Brubeck live right here in Wilton?
So does Chris. Yeah, they both do.
Right.
They're right around the corner. Chris will be on the show in a few weeks.
Fantastic musician.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. But Tom Malone, Bones Malone, from the original Saturday Night Live band, he's probably
Another great musician.
known from here, was here with Chris and a few other guys, and they played for, I think it was the Jazz Symposium, yeah, and it was just great. It was a lot of fun. They demonstrated all different types of jazz, from traditional to modern, and it was a lot of fun. And I got to talk with Bones, or Tom, afterwards, and I didn't even realize that he was at your Halloween party.
He was.
And we got to talking. And
Everybody was in costume. Nobody
yeah,
could recognize
right.
anybody.
We didn't know who was who. But it was a lot of fun, and it's just kind of goes to show it's a small world.
That's
to see
right. You
people
were
all
David
around.
Letterman. That's
Oh,
right.
jeez.
Wow.
Our last week, somebody mentioned that. He says, "Oh yeah, well you're over on CBS now, right?" He says to me. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. What do we have here? What do you want to talk about, Lou?
Well,
You want to ask me something? You can ask me something for a change.
yes, I would.
Okay.
I'd like to know. I have 2 daughters. They're
Okay.
5 years old and 7 years old.
Right.
Now, I promised to get them a gigantic pumpkin for Halloween. This is very important to me.
Okay.
Really big.
A real pumpkin.
In like real, yeah, but in really good condition.
Yeah.
And the local market is having trouble getting one that's in perfect condition.
Right. Now,
This
can
is
I say what town
extremely
it is?
important.
Can I say what town?
Well, the market we're looking at is in Mount Kisco, and it's a
Oh,
great
okay.
market. But usually, you know, the great big pumpkins, one side is green or something. So if you know, or if any of the viewers know of like a really huge, perfect pumpkin, I want it. So, no, I mean, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. So
Okay.
let us know.
Now let me
Thank
just
you.
kind of pass this on to you. I
Very
work at a
important.
haunted house every year at Blue Jay Orchards, which is in Danbury, or Bethel rather.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's a good place to pick up.
and they have pumpkins all the time, and they have some massive ones that we, when they're not bought by Halloween, we use them for the haunted house.
Massive.
Yeah, well, no, I can't. I'm not guaranteeing you anything, but I
Okay.
mean,
All right.
I could check there, and I mean, I could get back to you or whatever.
Fine. I would appreciate
Because
that.
I mean, that's not a normal request that we would get here all that often, but pretty darn funny. Now, what do you need the pumpkin for?
They want it.
They want a big pumpkin.
They want it. They want it in front of the house.
Hey, all right. What
Well,
else?
well, you know, music, music.
Want to look at the card?
Let's you know, I mean, I love playing. I love playing a variety of music.
Yeah.
I love. I do a big variety of things. I get to play with sometimes large orchestras, sometimes small groups, and at one point I did you know, a lot of freelance studio work, but a
Right.
lot of that is now using synthesizers.
Yeah.
But such a strange world. For example, one of the reasons that, you know, I was detained a bit today is I got a call, 7 o'clock in the morning. I got a call to go in and play a movie today.
You're kidding.
No, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Where was this?
This was in New York, and
And he still got here to do the show, ladies and gentlemen. That should be something.
thank you. So
I really appreciate
No, it's
you
all
being
right.
here then.
So I went and I did this movie, and the weirdest thing was that after I was there and hired, they just decided not to use the trumpet. So I sat there for 3 hours, didn't play a single note.
And you were paid.
Well, yeah, I will be paid.
You
You know,
will.
it takes several weeks to
Yeah,
get paid,
yeah.
but yeah, when you're called, you get paid.
That's kind of a shame. I mean, I don't know
Well,
which is worse.
I don't know. You know, it was
Just sit
kind of
around and
neat.
watch. Speak louder. Me. Thank you. I'll speak louder. Should I raise this up? Are you? Hello? They're all telling me to speak louder. Did you tell them that? You guys. Lou, would you like to play a little for us? We'd really appreciate that. That would
Well,
be
I
great.
brought it. I figured
Yeah.
I'd
Push that through.
give you a little.
Now, I mean, we don't have any accompaniment for you here because we weren't sure if you were going to play or not.
Well, neither was I, but I think I can play better than I can talk. So
Oh, there you go.
let's see.
What? Yes. Look at this. It's a little sluggish kind of creature. Look at this. We're over here. Can we get that? Show it. Change the battery. Okay, I'll change it while Lou's playing. You're gonna clip your mic in too. Hey. Now, I've always wondered. This is an actual toilet plunger, right?
That is an actual toilet plunger, and it
Probably
was
been used.
last used in. No, I've never. No, I have never used this in a toilet.
Okay.
Unclip this, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Without tearing your shirt. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take that. And if you want to just come over here, if that'd be all right. Follow him, yeah. There we go. Do you want the stool that the picture's on? Or you want to stand?
No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay. And, I don't know what to, drop us dead, I don't know.
Well, let's see. One thing that's kind of universal between jazz and rock and roll and pop music and even, well, not too much Western classical music is blues. So I'll play a little bit of blues, okay?
Okay, definitely, blues. It says blues.
I'll show you how you use this too. See, See, this makes the trumpet sound kind of vocal, like a trumpet by itself. It almost sounds like a voice. That's enough.
Oh, the man. That was great. That was just wonderful.
Thanks.
Man, that, I'm excited now.
Well,
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry.
The reason that I picked that is because that's the kind of thing you can hear in so many different rhythmic idioms that it's such a.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
That was really great. And let's see, how much time do we have? Are we out of time? Oh, well, look at this. This is, well, you come on. This is Mr. Zellner. You want to come on? No, he doesn't want to come on. This is Mr. Zellner. He's also a trumpet player.
Hi, Mr. Zellner. How are you?
Doing Lew.
Okay.
Grew up at Danbury State College about 1969.
Wow, that was when the band was really. That was when the band was really happening.
That.
I remember that.
Good show. David Clayton Thomas. Packed house and field house up at Danbury, Western Connecticut State College up in Danbury.
Was that the night of the blizzard?
We'll see you later, Mr. Zellner.
Nope.
If you don't want to come on, you can't talk to Lou. Come
Boy.
on.
Maybe I'll sneak Mr. Gall on. He's out here too.
Is
Boy,
he out
there was a blizzard.
Oh, come on. You don't have to play. No, this will be great. If we can get him to come on, this will be Chip Gull. He's the music teacher here at the high school. Can we get him on?
He ran.
Oh, man.
This is actually on TV, isn't it?
What's
At
that?
some point.
At some time, sure.
But I will never see it. It won't be on.
I will definitely give you a tape.
But it will never be on in the.
Do you have
in
cable
my,
vision?
Yeah, I do.
Is it cable vision?
Yes.
It very well might be then.
Oh
I
boy.
don't know. I don't know the rules.
Well,
Our
once
producer ran out to go get Mr. Gull, so I don't know what to tell
I'll
you.
tell you. Once I was in an Italian restaurant, hanging out with Chuck Mangione, and we were just playing some tunes.
Hey,
together
they're
for
coming.
fun.
Great.
All right.
Hey. Some cool cat. Here, you want to just dump that, get off the orange chair, and give them the orange chair.
How you doing?
Pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Mine.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? You've got
How are
leather
you?
jackets on, the whole thing. Yeah.
And look at me. Look at me. I'm not dressed.
Here, you
You're
two
real
can just
jazz.
pass this
You're
back
real
and forth.
jazz.
Uh,
We'll just pass
how
the
are you?
mic amongst us. How you doing?
Like your tie. I like your
All
tie
right.
How are
very
you, Mr.
much.
Gull?
Thank you. Student gave it to me.
Man, what happens on this show? How are you guys?
Well, we were
I'm
just
glad
driving
you
down
came
the
in.
street, you know,
How
ready
could
to
you
go to
miss it?
Orem's Diner because we heard the pizza was terrible here, so.
Oh, yeah, we ordered pizza. Do you have questions for Lou? I don't know.
Do you remember that concert up there? So many concerts so long ago, I know.
Yeah, but 1969 was kind of. I remember there was a blizzard somewhere. I mean, not a blizzard, but a snowstorm. We couldn't get out. I think it was Danbury.
Was this Blood, Sweat, and Tears? Blood,
Yeah,
Sweat, and Tears?
we went to see them. At that time, it was just a really happening album along with Chicago and
We
other
took the
groups.
train up.
Yeah. And it was up to
And I-
Danbury, and it was a cold night, I recall. It might have been like the spring, or not the spring, but the winter of 1970, actually, 69 going into 70. I can't recall, but it was just
Or
when...
68 going into 69.
Yeah, possibly that
That
also.
that was the one.
Yeah. but I know that the band was not all that well known yet.
No, well, I think
It
that
really
was the
was not
Blizzard.
that well known yet.
I think it was the Blizzard.
And they were trying to drum up business. I remember my wife was a student at Western Connecticut State College. They were trying to actually drum up business to get ticket sales up for BS&T because the band still was new. And the album had just come out, and it was just starting to happen
And
at
we
the
were
time.
trudging through the snow after the
Yeah,
concert.
it could
we could
be.
not go back to New York. We had to stay over in the student dorms.
This was
We
at
couldn't
Westcon?
get out.
Yeah, WestCon.
We couldn't get out.
Yeah,
I think it was Danbury.
yeah, yeah.
Do you remember University of Connecticut, I think it was 1980. You came.
No, I
did
was
a-
gone.
You did a.
I was gone from there in 1973.
But you
Oh,
came
me.
and did a concert with our jazz band, and you did Solo for Soloff and a bunch of tunes. I was. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, hold
Ryan.
that up a little bit.
Sorry,
There you
Ryan.
go. Hey.
I've met Mr. Soloff before once. He probably
Yeah.
doesn't remember me, but I picked you up in Hartford at the train station with a guy in a white Camaro, and we drove to Yukon, and we did a rehearsal and a concert that night. And
And I did
you
the-
played solo trumpet, you did solo for Soloff, and a few
Well,
other tunes.
I'll never forget the piece Solo for Soloff because it's really hard.
Sure is.
And I don't like
He's
to
a whale.
play it because it's too hard. It's a good piece.
Well,
It's written by the great
as-
Manny Album, but it's too hard. I like to. I've gotten much more into wanting to improvise than play written notes that I have to play exactly the same way each time. I like to have a kind of a skeletal structure that gives me a lot of freedom. I'd much rather have that than have a very structured written part.
Well, people, from what I recall, he didn't make it sound hard at all. It sounded real easy when he played it.
Hard. It was hard.
Yeah, well, I could believe it because I saw the notes on the
Man.
page.
I don't mean to interrupt here. How much time do we have? 5. Hey, great, great.
Okay.
Well, she has to listen to the new
Wow.
CD too. I don't know if it's a new CD or not, but it's I
Here
think
we
it's
go
Blood,
again.
Sweat,
It
and
is
Tears Gold. And my son bought it for me to listen to, and it's amazing how clear and how invigorated the whole sound is now that it's on CD. And some of those older tunes, it goes back to previous to your involvement with the band, I guess, when
Al Cooper,
Al Cooper's band. You know, I don't know who the lead trumpet player then with the band was.
Jerry Weiss.
Okay, so there are a couple cuts from that album, from the first album. I think it was called "Child is the Father to the Man" or something like that. Was the first album that I think BS&T put out, and then came along the White Album that you were involved with. I think.
Still Good Evening with Ryan Vasquez.
So, but the
No, no.
CD is really remarkable. All the solos, your solos are so bright and so clear, and it's so much better than the way I remember it almost. So it was nice to hear that again. Just listened to that, I guess, a couple days ago.
Well,
A nice album.
Thank
Nicely
you.
done again. Best of,
Thank
yeah.
you.
And Lou, I mean, I can't thank you enough for coming.
Oh,
And I know you've already explained to us your busy schedule. I really, I sincerely mean that, and you've always been, even though you may not remember me, you've always been very nice to me, and I really appreciate you coming.
Well, as I say, that particular night, if you're asking me if I remember you from Halloween, I don't remember anything from Halloween. But it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me.
Thanks, Lou. I really appreciate it. Chip Gall, and what's your first name?
Chip Zellner.
Chip Gall and Chip
We got
Zellner.
Big Chip and Little Chip.
Look at this, yeah. Guys, we have to take a break now. We'll be right back.
You know, I got to tell you, I was actually